it's a private person, so.
So you want him doing, I guess?
Okay.
If it's not too difficult, yeah, I didn't.
No, it's not.
Okay.
We'll do that after the meeting.
I looked up that fuel tax stuff, it's okay as long as you don't lose money.
Yes, that's what they told me.
Oh.
I think it might be in the minutes. If not, we're going to discuss it.
Yeah. What you can do with that? Street pole signs and everything? Street lights? I didn't know that.
Okay, I can't get this to work right, so we're going to record it on those. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. It is 6:33. Okay, roll call. Paul?
Yes?
John?
Yes.
Leon?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yep.
Martha?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Easy. Okay. So the first thing on there is the approval of the past minutes, and I think with the exception of Linda, everyone got theirs ahead of time, so yours is there in front of you.
All right.
Let me ask a question real quick. There's been a little confusion on if these need to be hand-delivered or emailed or left here. So does anyone know, and or do you have clarification?
Right here on the table.
And is that sufficient though? Because not everyone has
That's
keys.
what it did
I think
for the
there's
last
only
3 years.
I think there's only 2 people that have keys that's on the board.
Just left on the table, and everybody picked them up and read them and whatever have you.
Well, I don't think we have enough keys. So we might have to look into that. I know they were hand delivered at one time, and then Stacy had been emailing them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Email.
Yeah. Well, the people that had email got them emailed.
Oh, I don't mean no good.
Okay. Well, then we'll try to look into that and see what, because the ordinance doesn't really say which way we're supposed to do them, and I just want to make sure it's done correctly. So I'll give you guys, I'll give Linda a minute to catch up on the minutes. Was there any mistakes in the minutes that we need to correct that anyone saw?
Well, these could be taken home.
Yeah, I think you guys always kept your copies, right? Yeah, that's the copy of the audit.
Cause I'm gonna have to have 5 years to read this.
Yeah, they're not fun. From what I read, and then we have one with, I just gave one to Trevor, he's gonna look over, and then our guy that does our taxes monthly, you know, our accountant that does that, he hasn't seen anything either, but he's got a copy to look through. And it really doesn't say there's anything, I don't see anything that says gross negligence, you know, so everything seems to be okay. So the ones that have the minutes didn't see anything? And an error? Okay. Or that we need to correct?
minutes,
Oh, man,
or minutes.
I got them in the house.
Okay. You need to look over mine?
I ain't read them yet.
You
I'm
can
gonna
read
sit
it.
down tonight, reading them now midnight. We're reading that little white book. Trying to. Oh, I can't see.
Linda, just let me know when you're done with the
I'm
minutes.
done with the minutes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to pass the minutes, or is there any corrections that need to be made?
A motion to pass.
I'll second. If everybody's fine with that. Very good.
Okay, I went ahead and passed out the treasurer's report on that, and everybody has their copy. Here are the originals. I'll give you all a minute to look over that. Oh, yeah, I did put in there, hey, Paul,
Pardon?
that part we talked about that you were asking me about last meeting, if they were allowed to put the,
Yeah, I've read the
Right.
book.
okay, well, I wanted to make sure that we double checked with Nita also,
Oh, okay.
and she said as long, like you said, as long as we weren't
As
losing
long as
money.
you don't lose it.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes for a lot more stuff than just board of truth.
And she said, well, we don't have anything where we're losing money.
No, we
don't-
got light poles, street signs.
Well, I meant like
Right.
where we have
Oh,
our
yeah,
money,
no.
yeah, in the bank.
You can use it for a lot more than just roads.
So, yeah, but the end of it is they have to tell us where we can use it. We're gonna be hopefully
As long
looking
as
at
it
that
comes
too.
out the pot.
Has everybody got a chance to look at the treasure report?
No, not yet.
Okay.
almost forgot about it again. I was gonna put this burger fly out one more, so just so I can flush the commode. What's on, John?
Thanks, sir.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Let your whiskers fall off.
Sorry, happy.
That compressor work okay? Sure does.
You done okay in Boy Scouts? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't do it last night. I didn't. When I really wanted to go.
Is your book this one or this one? It's yours.
This is a what?
It's 11. Well, they told us that they had ordered 618s for that coming from the queue. I don't know when they have. That's the most recent one. Hey, Paul, do you know which book you have at home?
Pardon?
Do you have this book or this book
I
at home?
got the, what's the difference?
One's
Got
11
that
and one,
narrow,
you have 18,
yeah.
and John, you said you have 11
Couple
though?
of- yep.
Linda, do you know what you have?
18.
Leon, did you get a book last
No, I
time?
haven't got one like it.
Okay, Martha, you got that, both of them, right, the ordinance and,
They're
okay.
the same thing, ain't they?
There's different ages, I'm
Ah,
just trying to figure what we have.
I said that's the latest one.
I'm just waiting on your side of the table to get through with the treasurer's report.
What's the word that at?
Well, Linda's got it,
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, we're just waiting, that's why I'm waiting patiently.
is that high box? Is that Sean back there?
Well,
Well, I know he's a good sized boy.
yeah. No, that's not it. That's what it's doing, man.
Mr. Sawyer, how's life treating you?
Busy.
I haven't seen you for a long time.
Back around after a
Yeah,
long hiatus. So happy to be here.
good.
Happy to have you.
Small town USA.
Yes, ma'am.
Get out in the world, you realize it's not so bad back home, is it?
It isn't. A lot more food out there in other places, but aside from that, it's nice being back.
Yeah, good.
How's your dad? Is it your dad?
Yep.
Steve, yeah?
My dad's Steve, yes. He's doing well.
Is he?
We've started practicing together in Mount Carmel.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yep. We have an office at the Skiles building, and it's taken off pretty well. So
Well, my, that's good.
it is.
That's
Very.
good. He's a good man.
I appreciate that. I'm lucky to have him as an
Yeah.
influence and a role model.
I've never had to use him in court, thank God for that. But I've known him as a friend for a long, long
Yeah.
time. But, yeah, he's a good man.
He really is. Big shoes to fill.
Here's one of them hurt. Those, like, that's coming back on.
You know, can I ask something about this? I'm gonna lose friends here, I'm sure. There ought to be a way to speed this up. I mean, we look through that, how you gonna tell? How you gonna tell what you're looking at? I mean, you can tell if the numbers add up unless you take a calculator and go through all that crap. But, we sat here for 30, 45 minutes and looked through it, and I couldn't recite anything to you on that other than the title of the paper.
Right?
And her format's changed tonight too.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, there ought to be a way we could expedite this thing a little bit, you know?
Do you have any suggestions? Because I'm new to that too.
I lose, my attention span's not very anymore.
Yeah.
And, we sit here and look through that. No, do I have any suggestions? Not at this very moment, but, I probably will have.
I agree.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I
I've been
agree.
in board meetings, a lot of the other people have been in board meetings. We sat here for 30, 45 minutes.
They could shorten it.
Yeah, but Bud, if you shorten it to 2 pages,
Yeah.
how you gonna know what you're looking at if you don't know
You
what you're
don't
looking at?
know.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You don't. Unless you're a,
Well, not only that, it's not that complicated to have a
Yeah.
guy with a degree, but you gotta have a calculator, you gotta have time to sit down there and look at this, and then you gotta have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
Whether it's up or down, or, now if it's extravagant, then it's gonna show up.
well, I can read it and not make sense out of it.
It's gonna show up.
I can read
And
it.
you can rest assured that the people that do the math on this thing is right.
Well, that's what I mean. Why sign it if it's already been approved?
Do they do it differently at other board meetings?
I don't know.
Or have they in the past?
I don't know.
Oh, always
the-
pass it around.
We spend 30, 45 minutes looking at it. Nobody can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta have a calculator or something to compare it to in order to say this is not right. And unless it's an extravagant number, if something goes up several $1,000s or down several $1,000s, then you can say, hey, what happened there? And most of us would know if something happened, unless it's an addition or subtraction number of some kind.
Well, I wonder if I could talk to some of the other villages around here or towns on how they do that. You know, that would make it,
Maybe so, I don't know.
you know, make
I
it a
don't
little
know,
easier, because I don't,
It's just a suggestion, that we need to speed the thing up a little bit, not that I have anything.
Right, yeah. I understand it's a lot of papers to look at. sitting here.
Really tries my, attention span.
Well, you know, that you mentioned that, I have been at a couple of meetings where the one financial advisor just speaks and tells an overview of what's all on there,
Yeah,
and we don't look at it individually.
Yeah.
He just kinda explains the difference up and down, what's going on, and
Right.
move on.
We had a lady at Pacific that would do that. She would,
Yeah.
when we have our production meetings and stuff, she would look through that, she'd say, well, maintenance is way out of whack here, so this is why, and we would already know,
It's here now.
because the machine was down, or something was, but otherwise,
There you go.
we'll give that some thought. I mean, I don't know.
Is there any way to get that paper before our meeting, like a copy of it, and pass it around, that way we can look at it before we come to
See, I
the
don't know, because I was always told that this paperwork right here is not to leave the office.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, so I mean, if you guys took it and someone accidentally got it.
right, yeah, okay.
But like I'm saying, you can't tell unless you got something to compare it to.
Right.
Yeah.
Bunch of numbers. How long, you're a Sawyer person?
I am.
Okay. Is Steve in relation to you?
Yeah, I heard your review of him when I was watching the old tapes. So yeah,
In relation to you?
it certainly is. That's my dad. Yeah.
I will hold against you.
Well, I already heard how you feel, so no worries there.
He was your dad?
Yeah, that's my father.
Okay. Now, he was married to White Callie's daughter at one time.
Yes, sir.
I had a conflict with him.
The total is
Yeah.
the second page, if you want to see the total.
We had gone on
Okay,
since.
I just
I
wanna
can
make
tell
sure.
how you're talking about him. But that is my dad, so I appreciate not being
I
reviewed.
didn't care for him a bit. That's before your time, don't get that.
But that's still my father. I
Yeah, I
appreciate
mean,
it.
it goes back a long way, me and him do,
I have all the copies I have already, make sure there's
Yeah.
no big
end of
changes.
conversation. It ain't your fault like that, don't hold against you.
I don't really care if you hold it against me or not. That's my dad. But
Like with my dad, you know, you almost have to love it.
Are you done with those, bud?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of numbers to me, Christine.
Now,
There were two other papers, let me see if they're in there, cause last time they got misplaced out of there.
those come in really pretty quick, like, you know about the big percentages,
Yeah.
the small.
It's the one that you guys keep, but last time it got misplaced out of here and I had to get new originals, so I wanted to make sure it was in that stack.
Takes me 5 years to go through this. So I mean, I see things backwards. I got no business reading.
See, just gonna get right there, I have no idea, is that good or not?
That's what together. Well, I got this
Steve
already.
No, unless you've paid that
That'll pay. I've seen
several
it.
times, I'm just saying.
That's the
There's a
original.
note on the other side that says
I
original.
know what
can't
that
run,
was.
okay.
That's your original.
So we got something
Okay,
compared to.
that's the one that I need back with that, and then you have a copy in your audit, I can see from there.
Well, it runs about $175.
I tell you what, our electric bill's way too high.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
Here's yours,
I think
here's
it's
yours,
more
and that
than-
one's.
Okay, that's the same difference.
Yes.
Let's just look at it, white.
Can I ask something?
Put this back.
Yes, those are the ones that we have to keep on file here. Just feels like I didn't get it.
What about this? You want this back?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that we're missing. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that, other than what Leon addressed, and I'll check with some villages and some other towns on how they handle that. You know, it's a good idea, cause yeah, I just feel like we're
Just
sitting here,
speed the thing.
yes.
I agree. Other inputs would be awesome from other towns and stuff.
Okay, do we have a motion to pass the treasurer's report? Second? the bills are going around now, and then we'll, look into that.
Who's your dad ever married? Your mother?
Brenda Cogdill from Lawrenceville.
Brenda?
Yep.
I didn't know.
Yep.
All I know is that he married that Howdy girl, whatever her name.
Chris.
Who?
Chris.
Was her name Chris?
Yeah.
I seen her
Hey, did you get your paperwork the other day?
out on fertilizer. It's been in the 80s. Good looking woman back then though. Oh, I ain't seen her.
Hey, Paul, did you get your paperwork the other day? Paul,
Pardon?
did you get your paperwork the other day?
My paperwork.
Yeah, your agenda and stuff. I delivered to you.
My paperwork.
Your agenda and your minutes and stuff the other day.
Oh yeah, I got that
Yeah.
home.
Okay. I'll make sure you got them. I delivered them to you the other day, you know?
Damn, I should have put both ears in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to go to your house the other day and get that little white book.
Mm-hmm.
I've read it 2 or 3 times. I can't make head or tails out of it, but too much of a gibberish double talk.
Yeah, I got a 2011 book.
It's on page 183, I think. I want to look at it or something. I got it marked off.
Okay. I'll look at it. What's it about?
Conducting the meeting if the president resigns or quits,
Oh, okay.
who takes over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Have you read it yet?
I ain't got 2011.
Well,
Did you initial that?
No,
like I said, I tried to read it.
just down here.
About 3 or 4 pages in there.
Yeah. Pretty long. And make sure you got those papers.
Yeah, I've been trying to study that. Trying to get my magnifying glass out.
It's a good book to read.
I ain't supposed to read it yet. Miss Adams tell me I couldn't read either. Ask Leon about Miss Adams. I can't read.
Yeah,
She told me that.
she was a good lady.
Yeah, I read a sentence to her once, a paragraph, and she says, "What are you looking at?" So I read it again. She says, "What are you looking at?" She says, "You're putting stuff where it ain't there, and you're reading it backwards." I says, "I am." That's when I found I had dyslexia.
Oh, really?
I wasn't that stupid, I just couldn't read.
Oh, bud.
And I still got it.
That was when we had 2 classes in one room.
Pardon?
That was when we had 2 classes in one room.
Yeah, we had, yeah.
7th and 8th grade in the same room.
With the 6th, 7th, and 8th, just 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th.
Okay.
Now their hair would get on fire if they did that.
The 6th grade was across the room, wasn't it?
These kids are gonna be,
6th grade was across the north side.
Yeah.
yep.
I was on the road down there by your house, by the firehouse.
Oh, what was that siren going on?
Oh, it's, I think like
Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a storm
Every
siren?
first, second Tuesday of the month they go off.
Oh, it wasn't quite as loud.
No.
I live right across the street from that loud sucker.
Well, we got We got the fire siren at the fire
Go to
station,
auction
and then we got
site?
storm sirens on
There's
the
an
other
auction
place.
at the Eagle Saturday,
Somebody at the trailer park and everybody can use.
I live there.
Is it
last Saturday.
That
Like a
one wants to
consignment
knock out
auction?
them off for the
like a
opposite.
consignment auction?
Yeah.
Mobile Grant had
It'll
one.
wake you up in the middle of the night, that's for
Up
sure.
there at the Eagle.
Oh, okay.
I can barely hear it up
Flowers,
there.
paper, and asphalt.
Can't see good to shoot a gun
Wow.
anymore.
Where you live?
You still bet this heading
I
Saturday?
live a block away from
With
the
the
trailer
mask,
park,
yeah.
on the corner across from Stoneburgers.
I stayed
In
in
a little
the
house.
coves.
I can't remember whose old house
They
it
had
was.
guns, corn,
Oh, wow, yeah, I saw that sign, yeah.
and all kinds
Kenny
of
Dunn.
stuff. Furniture,
Yeah,
lights,
yeah,
yeah.
Cool.
I remember him too well.
We had a boat,
Before my time.
a fishing pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to these sidewalk auctions at church, and they'll start.
I've been going to VFW every Sunday trying to get a jump on it.
That was when we had businesses in town.
Trying
Yeah.
to run up there to try.
But they're just raising.
Well, hopefully, one of
58,000.
these days we'll get
Yeah.
more.
What's the last time I took
Somehow, some.
The one in Fort Branch is 83.
Oh, okay.
if you're there,
Actually, it was pretty
till you get half.
good because if you need a bolt or a screw or a brake off, you go through the
I go in the middle of the week and my
through
tickets, so I
the
can,
cat
you
ear
can
and
get your
everything else.
half
Where's that at?
at the VFW.
They got that Queens going on?
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be 58.
Yeah, we had 3 grocery stores and a restaurant.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
There was one guy that was threw out of there
Business,
because
elevator.
he got irate.
Yeah, he bought
Yeah.
$400 worth of tickets.
One or
right
two.
there.
Done it used to run the little
Couldn't
store.
understand why he didn't win.
Boy, I could think of somewhere
Oh, yeah,
else
yeah.
to spend my $400 on.
I'm going and buy one and win it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Sally?
Yeah, I only get 5.
Sally or? You babysitting there.
What are you asking about?
Don't you, Garrett?
There was a gun store. and there
Garrett
was-
sold
Wasn't there a
it.
little shop next
The
to that
Audis.
too that was?
Is
Yeah, I
that
go
who it is?
Yeah, I go in a couple of days a week and help
Kenny
him
Dunn
out.
had
Man, he had.
a hardware store down there, like, he sold, only sold tractor tools.
Really?
Yeah, I just take it
Easy
easy
equipment.
and
And right next to that were Brad
I
Wallen,
have lupus, so
got a
I,
shop. There used to be a
yeah, I
grocery
almost
store
lost my
there.
kidney
one-
a few years ago.
That was at the
You
far
almost
end
what?
I
here.
almost lost my kidneys.
Carter's.
Oh, really?
One
Yeah, I
far
was
in
in renal
here.
failure.
Yeah, there used to be Carter's Grocery.
Carter's, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, okay.
Cliff lived up here next to him,
She almost lost.
and Bud lived right behind it.
Failure a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You lost your sister not too long ago.
About a year ago, yeah.
Used to have a
year in
restaurant right there
Will it be a year in September?
No, it was a year, yeah.
next to the grocery store right there. There's
She
nothing there
had
now but a
endometrial
slab of concrete.
cancer, and
Edith's
she's
restaurant.
okay, and then it came back, but
What's he? Yeah,
it went to her
I'm
brain.
just a youngin'.
yeah, well, your hair might be a little bit tinted there.
Did your mom and dad both on? Behave.
You know, and all my family's in it.
Yeah, my mother used to work down here at the Carter grocery store.
I can't afford to move down there, because I got the house.
I live down here on the corner where Mike lives.
Costs a lot.
Yeah.
It rents
Back
like
when I was
$800,
five.
$900
In fact, I
a
got married
month.
there
Yeah,
now,
there's just
not
no
in the
way.
house, but I was living there when I got
No
married.
way, so.
Well, that trade is empty, isn't it?
You don't remember that either,
Mhm.
because I've been married longer than you are.
Brad owns it.
Huh?
Brad
Married a
owns
long
it.
time too.
Remember the Tally Hotel
That was your sister's.
Tally.
Hotel?
where Smith's house was built?
That's your sister's.
Remember
No,
that big
Brad Walling
three-story
owns the
building?
trailer.
Oh.
They had put it
Tally
in like
Hotel.
25
Oh,
years ago.
remember
No,
that.
more like 30,
Yeah,
'cause that was there
well, I was
before
in it.
Dad died.
Well, you,
I
well, I
thought
don't know.
that was on your
Had
mom
a
and
state
dad's
coach
property.
out back.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't remember that.
The old man Tally took me through there.
My sister bought
Every
that
room
trailer.
had a
They bought that
fireplace.
property. They had to go to courthouse to rent
They
it.
give me a bunch of
It
slate
was
raisins.
Wood in Ohio.
Do you have a paper clip?
And then when they did it, they sold it to him.
No, that one, remember that picture.
You don't remember, huh?
That way I can clip this little one on.
Wow.
So,
Sure,
that's the
you
hell-
walk
I've
by
never
it
lived
every day to
anywhere else
school.
but that house.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been called something different, I don't know, but
Well, I was missing 3 stores, took out for half a block.
it was there where Larry Sloss lived.
Yeah, that's where Sloth lives now. That's where these, the how Smith built that new home.
Yeah, he did,
Well, he tore down the hotel.
yeah.
or somebody did. It goes back,
For you.
I'm probably 8 years old when I walked through there.
Yes, I do.
My father-in-law owned that house where Larry's boss lives
Becky
now.
Stacy's just a year older than me.
Yeah,
She was
who
born in
lived there?
67.
Father-in-law, mother-in-law. That house wasn't very old when they bought it.
She's a nurse at Beacon.
Paul all lived
She
there?
was.
Yeah.
I guess.
She's worked down there.
You're
She
Sure did.
started out
I
when
remember him living next
got her on
across
in
the church.
with the hospice nurse.
I know he lived there.
She traveled.
He lived right down there, yeah.
Yeah.
Larry's lost.
And then
Not
she
far
got
from
on
church.
in She's been down
Where
there
Larry lives.
for years. But I
Live.
Midtown or out of Gateway?
Yeah, I remember
She's
the,
out at Gateway, but I think she's
yeah,
in the
I've been
cancer
at,
Oh, is she?
department. I think
whenever
she's on the
David and
oncology.
Reuben and,
Okay. Yeah, my best friend's an oncology nurse.
They lived across the street in the, used to be the old parsonage
yeah,
where,
But I'm not sure.
had you
Short,
upstairs.
Yeah.
what's his
Where
name?
the truck driver's at now?
Yeah, Short.
I don't know his name.
Where Compton lived. The last person lived there was Compton, I think.
In fact, when I married my wife, she lived in that house.
Yeah, she lived there.
Well, that was the parsonage to the Christian church.
Yes.
I don't hardly recollect Mike very well.
I used to live in there one time.
Brother
too.
Mike,
Did you?
Yeah.
I
One
don't
time
hardly
ago.
recollect him.
Where at?
Your
Me and
house.
David's the same age.
My house.
Reuben's ahead of me. He's your age, ain't he?
You live across from the Christian church. I used to live in that
Why are we
house.
going back through all
And
these?
it was the church parsonage at one
Yeah,
time.
my hair.
Yeah.
These are the bills, so once they get approved,
Yeah, we'll
This is the monthly.
move on.
What you looked at the financial statement, now you're looking at the monthly
Christian
bills.
church, and that was
So
the
if there's any
parsonage.
ones that popped in there that shouldn't have been, that you didn't know about. Didn't buy new pajamas or anything. You're king in charge of your village. I try to behave these. I can't find my, Jolly Ranchers that I had last time.
My son-in-law went out here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you read that before.
They cleaned the garage out.
candy, you know.
Yeah. He's gonna move
Trevor, did I
everything
tell you we
to
appreciate you?
the back.
That's just
And I
monthly
had
bills,
been
right?
doing something
Yeah.
in there, but
Feels
didn't
good
know
to be
what I
appreciated.
said here, and
I
I
know
didn't
he's
know
getting charged by the hour.
I figured what it was.
Right.
But every time I heard it, you couldn't see anything. And you
Sure.
didn't
I
know.
heard something like that.
Yeah.
So we had got a couple of pegboards for a friend of ours, so he put a pegboard up over the back door,
Yeah.
put a sewing window in over the window, and then put the pegboard in. But when he went to move that table, he was screaming like a little girl and jumped up on the lawnmower. There was a black snake about 8 foot long that come out behind that pegboard, along with like 4 little ones.
I'm terrified of those things. Did you kill them?
He jumped up on the
We don't know
lawnmower.
that yet.
How many questions?
Did you see where it went?
It went out of the garage, and I told him, I said, I bet they come back. I haven't heard them, but I bet they come back.
And that's during the winter time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Burn
They
that
was,
damn thing down.
they was hiding them.
Gorge it.
They was hiding them behind that door and staying them. And he said, yeah, they're just gonna leave. Then I went, oh my God.
Them things terrify me.
Oh, me too.
I can't even watch them on TV or look at them in the magazine.
I can't even watch them on Facebook.
Oh, I can't either.
Always works fine.
So I'll let you know.
I'm never
But
early.
yeah, they can't.
I'm not a,
Yeah.
I'm a morning person. I get up so
Yeah.
early,
Even
but I'm
when they
never
come up on
somewhere
Facebook, I
early.
always click hide that post.
Not my meetings, not my church. I clock in on time, but I may clock in 10 minutes too.
I act like that when I'm in this bed.
I'm just not. I don't know.
You, I don't know. Times, yeah.
When we lived out there in the.
Always hated being late. I'd rather not even go in when I
We
was
got
working.
in the.
I thought about it tonight.
I just,
If I'm gonna be late again, I'm
What's
just
the
gonna call
date?
Snake.
Who, Josh and Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
And I
talk
thought
to them
of
every
you.
day.
And
Josh,
Kevin gone there one
You're
day.
staying in there.
He said, what are you doing? I said, nothing.
Josh went to the neurologist yesterday.
And then I got a text.
And he doesn't think he's having a seizure.
Reminder.
See, what I
2
wondered
minutes
about is
before.
every time he had one of those attacks, or they take him in, the potassium was low.
I did, I forgot.
So they think that the
I don't know
potassium.
who puts it on the board. You put that on the board out here?
Uh-huh.
That's good, because that reminds me that it's gonna happen.
Board meeting, town hall meeting, what do you want for lunch?
That's good, that's good.
Just board, board meeting?
I don't know what they had before.
That's
I
right.
don't remember either.
You're doing good. Whatever
So
you're
that
doing.
neurologist is gonna get
Keep
him
doing it.
Christina had to remind me.
anyway.
Yeah.
My butt, hold down thing, that swamp.
Good.
When we had that,
Board
meeting.
Natalie got
That swamp was oil, a water check.
Right.
That's what that's uncalled.
Hiccups.
See, I don't remember if you told me that or not.
Wall.
Now, it's the end of that sign.
Had it done.
It was on
Right, who's got how much money they're making
I
on
went
that?
down because he got cold and I said, we need to go get you a okay. Walked in there and found out that.
But they set it up.
1 hour travel.
Because he made $100. Went ahead. So his Medicare kicks in March.
As long as I've been
And so
around
they're gonna
one
have to
time.
I had to tell them, I said, give them 55 somebody cheaper.
And the doctor said
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
our aggressive one and they found it early.
She don't do it, I mean, it's not like she just
Yeah.
does it on purpose.
So anytime you're about to drop by,
It's on why
my truck ain't there, I'll be fishing.
Yeah.
That's in my
But
truck
she's
there.
gonna get tagged off on me being
They
disruptive.
haven't been up this way.
Set up.
Well,
She's
right
a good
early
deal.
December when they took flowers out
Is
the
that right?
grave, yeah.
Hiccups. Had the hiccups, she was just, teacher says she was disruptive. So she set her out in the hall.
Sometimes she help that.
Go down to the hall and get you a drink of water. How hard is that?
Gotta get a hall pass to go out in the hall.
You have to go to the office now to get a hall pass.
Okay.
So you're in the hall.
Teachers.
Now, what do you need? You get the hall or you get the pass or what?
If I could have made it to the office, I could have been to the bathroom back already.
You told me you done pretty good though.
Yeah.
The
Slide it off right here.
Yep.
Anyway. She's a pretty good kid, I don't understand how come that's going on. Don't have any trouble there in church.
Well, but you know, we're in a different places. We don't want those outside influences. That's why I go to church 4 nights a week.
She's getting to the age where she's gonna have to learn that if I go in that class, I can't do this. If I go in that class, I better not do that. And learn how to tiptoe through that class. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
The one trouble we ever had was her, she does talk a lot. She talks.
See a lot of fishing.
Huh?
See a lot of snake fishing.
Yeah, I try not to see any at all.
I'm not
Well,
an
depends
outdoor.
on where you're at.
No,
I was just died during Pioneer Days. There's nothing outdoors stuff.
It's just not.
Nothing.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, I think. I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm okay as long as I don't see him. I don't see him.
I'm gonna sit outside because I don't relax. Because I hope someone outside I'm like
But
this.
she's gonna get herself,
The
she
best.
she
Stay in the
talks.
house.
She talks, man, where's she going on a school trip?
You know what it sounds like it?
Yeah.
It's coming up.
Chris put on Facebook, which I would do.
Sounds like a
Why
jet.
feel it
Yeah.
coming to school? Well, I don't know if that
It's
happens.
really
I don't know what
efficient.
kind of demeanor he has when he goes up
Only
there.
$30 last month. That fast.
I try not to get involved.
Good.
That I have to make those bills out, those are the ones I make out. You guys have to approve them before they get sent out in the mail. That's why you look at them to make sure you do trust me before they go in the mail. So they don't get mailed until tomorrow after the meeting. Or tonight, depending on. I can leave. I can leave.
No.
Oh, what are you doing?
He was just saying, it's not being mean, he was just saying.
He was just saying if I have to go through those and that you guys don't trust me, then why am I back there? And I said, you guys have to approve it before they go out, and then someone else has to sign it.
Oh,
Sorry.
So now it's your turn to look at them and sign them.
well, I'll be at 25
He did
years.
partially look.
Yeah.
Sorry. There you go.
I'll just glance through them. You already done it, what's the?
Well, they're not mailed out, they're
Well, I mean, if you
right
already
here,
went
ready to
through
go.
this stuff, what's
All
the
the,
difference?
they're right there.
You already went through it.
Well, because the one time you guys caught that the
Well,
insurance
did it?
claim was supposed to be, or that claim for our electric was supposed to be
Monthly
filed with
bills,
insurance.
though. These are monthly bills.
Yes.
I said, you always got my book, cause that's longer, $400 some odd dollars a month, for half hour.
Yeah, they have, the EPA has their
You
guidelines.
gotta have it, but isn't there somebody any cheaper around?
No. Most places are a lot higher than
All right. God, wish I had the kind of wages, but I don't. I'm complaining, I don't have no wants or needs, well, needs. Red nose.
No, well, my daughter works.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we don't get chlorine very often. How often do we have to order
White
them?
chlorine.
Yeah, it's called the snow glow bleach or something like that.
Chlorine.
3 months, is it
Every 3 months. So it is a big chunk of change, but it's only every 3 months that we get it.
Rest of it's just light bills.
Chlorine's bad, you know that though. Chlorine is nasty stuff.
Let's, gotta watch it.
If people knew what goes through town here on that railroad,
Oh, yeah. Be scared to death.
I'm telling you. All they do is have a big old wreck and have about 4 or 5 cars of chlorine.
There could be nuclear warheads or
We'd be
anything.
under recover.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time with the fire department.
Oh, shoot.
Straight about it.
They don't go slow either.
Supposed to have a speed limit when they go through, just like cars do on the highway.
35, is it?
I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
I bet they don't go that speed limit.
What's the railroad? 35 out of town.
And now, it's a Class A track, and they can run up to 70 miles an hour out
Yeah.
here.
Out of, that's
Through
out
town.
of, out of town.
No, through
Through
town.
town again? Through
Through
town
town.
again? Uh-huh.
Because the railroad people coming here, we've talked to them before.
Wow. Too fast.
I know they run a pretty good clip through here.
Yeah, they do.
Sometimes.
Just remember the 2 derailments in 3 weeks, remember that? One during the 78 blizzard.
Because they come in here, they'll come in about every 2 years and try to close your streets. And when they do, you want to tell them no. Because they want to close all of them but one. We ain't closing none of them.
No,
I've been through that before.
no. Well, fire trucks and
Yeah.
ambulances and, yeah.
You mean close them for maintenance or just close them permanently?
Close them
Or
permanently.
they're just one street?
They'll close them permanently, they'll buy them off of us and close them down.
They tried to close them. When they come in here that time, they wanted to close them all but one. No way.
So that, when that one got sold up there by Bush?
I can straighten them back.
Yeah, the one I first closed.
I think that's when that
That's
happened,
what
they
they'll do.
condemned
Close
that.
them all down.
No way.
I guess they didn't know. I wasn't on the, that was back when I was on the board and stuff. Cause you can't afford to close any of the streets. They wanna close them permanently and they don't wanna maintain them.
No, that's right.
No, I believe that.
One more. Oh. For receipt. Well, that's it. Well, she's already approved it.
I
bought
haven't
your
sent
tractor.
anything out, so I have not approved anything. Okay, so can we get a motion to approve the bill?
All motion.
Can I get a second?
I second.
I don't, it was in there, it wasn't in
All
there.
right, Bill, would you like to talk about the water report?
Well, we've been reading the meters and checking the chlorine, working on the tractors. We've had trouble with the little tractor. Somebody in the past put the drain plug in, stripped the threads. So I went to Herschel Johnson's, got the plug that goes in the tractor, and it leaked. So I went down to BJ Napa, talked to him, and he sold us a universal plug that fixed it. So we can keep this one because it was kind of expensive.
Was
They
it
didn't
oil
tell
drain
us.
plug?
They didn't tell us at the time. It was $30. Well, I would've went to Napa.
Oh. The oil drain, right?
Yeah, see, they stripped.
He
Somebody in the past put it in sideways,
Stripped
stripped
it out.
the threads. So the new one wouldn't work either, so we had to buy a universal plug.
Yeah,
What it did, it had a little arm that went up into the pan, and as you tighten it,
yeah.
it had rubber, and it sealed it, so.
Wonder who done that? I ain't never touched it.
It's probably been a long time ago, you know.
That's what little fish.
It can happen to anybody, I mean, you know, you think it's going right, and then you put a wrench on it. And,
Yeah. That's not even, that's just fine thread though, ain't it?
Yeah.
So it does fit now.
Did you
Yes,
chase
we got it now. So.
We already
But
bought
the
back.
expensive one, we can use on the big tractor if we need it, so we're not gonna be out much.
You can't chase the threads?
It costs too much.
I mean, you ain't got a tap to do it, huh?
You know, BJ found one that fit it for $12, and we don't have to worry about mowing this summer and leaking oil. You
Yeah.
know, it's
We
worth,
don't
you
even
know,
leak.
state, you know.
Yeah.
$12, what we spent is a lot cheaper than a new motor.
Preventive maintenance, in other words.
You know, if your oil light isn't working, you lose all your oil, you lose your motor, so.
Yeah.
We have a Hustler zero-turn mower in the pole barn that looks like a pile of junk. I showed Jonathan.
Yeah.
It still has the price tag on it. How much was that? Was that $4,600?
About 5,300.
53, 54, 5,400. It still has the, I think we ought to have Rural King come and get it and see what's wrong with it. Because it don't look that bad, does it, John?
No, it really don't.
I think it'd be worth it. I mean, it may just be a starter or a solenoid. I think it'd be worth.
Add a little TLC to it, I think it'd be worth
Yeah,
keeping.
we don't know who parked it there. It's got 2 flat tires. It doesn't have a battery. It won't start. I took the battery out of the Toro, put in it, and it wouldn't start. So, we know it's not the battery.
But it would turn over if something froze up.
No, it wouldn't turn over or nothing. So it's either the switch, solenoid, or the starter. So, if you want to have Real King look at it, I mean,
They gotta have
Well,
it.
it ain't one of
Maybe
our
look
old
at
ones.
it and tell them what it
we
is.
have the Toro. It runs.
Not one of our old ones?
Yeah, it's the Hustler. It's
Well, the
yellow.
one that belongs to us.
Yes.
It's not propane, is it?
No.
Well, it won't start.
No. Got 2 flat tires.
One out back,
Yeah.
that little one.
Well, does
Yeah.
Mike Burbridge still work on here in town? I mean, he did last summer, he still worked on. But I don't know, is that
Well,
something
it's been
you guys
used
can
for
just
years.
decision,
I
make
was
a
the last
decision on
one
now,
to
or
use
does
it.
that have to be
That was
put
in
on there?
16.
16. It should still be good. I mean,
Now, that's, I was the last one to get out and mow it.
Yeah, we don't.
I like it.
I mean, it might be worth looking into because $5,000 is a lot of money for a new one.
Oh, no.
I think,
That-
If it's
Well,
$50,
still
if it's
runs.
$50 starter, I mean, we'd have a backup mower.
Well, the big one still runs, don't it?
Big one still runs. It needs an oil change
Yeah.
and a
Maintenance.
filter. But I think I have a filter for it, so It's got a flat tire too, but I can plug
Got
it
this
in.
sitting back there, Bill, for 3 years.
Do you think we have a little time, that way we can discuss it, but we can get it in before everybody else gets their stuff in?
Yeah.
That way,
We can put that back on the agenda for next month. Is that a good idea?
Well, we don't wanna wait too long because everybody will be taking their mowers and getting them fixed. I mean, now's the time to get a mower worked on before everybody.
That's how you do it.
It's up to you, I mean.
I don't know how that works. Put it on the back on the
sounds like
agenda, 'cause I don't know
everybody
how
else
that
look at
works,
it
and we don't wanna
get more,
approve something that's not on the agenda.
but then we get.
No, safety switch is it.
No.
Like I said, it was, I ran it 16 on the yard.
Oh, 16.
Yeah, 19, well, 2016, whatever it was. I broke it out, every tires up, been back setting for, boy, that big was squirrely.
She might have had a pretty good idea of getting Mike, I don't know what kind of standing he's got with the tribe here, but he'd be cheaper than Real King, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It probably came from Real King. Did that come from Real King?
Yes.
I think the Real King speaker on it.
Well, they got parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can look at it here in town.
Yeah,
What
do
she
not
said.
fix simple, you know. You know how that is, I mean.
Everything's good,
Yep, everything's good, chlorine level's good,
and Sanders was down today, right?
pardon me?
Were you here when Sanders came? I heard they were supposed to be in town today.
No, she didn't call me or anything.
Okay.
Maybe the water report.
When I checked it, it was, the chlorine was 1.1, so she checked it. If it'd been lower than that, she'd have called, you know.
Okay, we'll open the floor to public comments into regards to what's on the agenda.
Public comments open, if anybody would like to speak.
I don't know what we were talking about a minute ago.
Oh.
What were you gonna ask?
He's talking about your paperwork a while ago, trying to do it a little faster. Could a guy like motor fuel tax, everything you spend on motor fuel tax, put it in that, like on one sheet, everything you spend? You know what I'm trying to say? You know, and then your next one, like everything all your bills, put it on the next paper, like your, what is it? Motor fuel, and then what's next on there? Each one of them, category them to where all your bills go on it, to where you can, what you got, then what you spent, and then plus all your bills on one paper.
Kinda like our treasury report with the bills on it also.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
In other words, category everything out, like your motor fuel, your gas, or your garage.
Yeah.
Everything you spend, put it on one, and add it, then what you spent, or it comes out to.
Right.
I know it's a lot of paperwork to do, but it might be a little quicker.
Well, they have everything,
Yeah, it's categorized.
it's categorized, like this is for one account and this is for another, so they have that broke down.
All your bills on it too?
He writes them, he types them in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Have you guys discussed about what you're gonna do with that tree beside the house?
Yeah, but for the record, I need you to stand and state your name. I'm sorry, I didn't have him do that.
Rhonda Short, I was questioning about that big tree that's on city property, keeps losing limbs.
Bill had told us that it was still budding.
It's alive. That tree's alive.
You don't want my opinion then, sir, because that tree,
A
if
dead
that,
tree does not bud, ma'am. I mean, that tree, I'll tell you what happened to that tree. It's just like a lot of maple trees. Probably last February, it got warm, started budding, then it got real cold. The buds fell off, so you didn't have many leaves last summer. It's probably what happened.
it is losing limbs.
If you all wouldn't have drove 9 nails in it with the no trespassing sign, it might have been what
No,
hurt it.
That's,
We're gonna keep an eye on that tree. And,
that's, I can have it cut down, but you guys are gonna pay for it. That's just bottom
No.
line, you know.
not dead. It's not dead.
Because if it falls on the house, because I've been told by a tree person, if the wind blows just right, it's coming over on our house. You guys can pay for the house,
I
that's
believe
fine
you.
and good with me, you know.
I don't know. I know it's not dead.
May I add something on that? Would it hurt the board to get an arborist out to check that tree? Get a trained arborist to look at it?
I had year-round service to look at it, and he said if that tree goes down, it's going right on the house.
I'm trying to help you also
Yeah.
with, but let the board decide if they bring in their own arborist to check what would be best for everyone involved.
I think personally, we can get a second opinion from someone and look at it. Again, get a second opinion. Somebody professional.
Like I said, year-round was out here and looked at it,
Right.
and the catappa tree inside the fence buds out, has its leaves too, but half of it's still dead, you know. And the same way with the front one. It buds out, but half of it still dead, and limbs fall down. If you got a vehicle there, the limbs fall on them. You can't walk on the sidewalk because there's limbs all over the sidewalk where branches have buds.
What's the intersection there, Miss Short?
Hackberry and Persimmons. When Bill came over to look at it, he stopped in front of the house. He was at the trailer where the shooting was a couple of years ago over there. We don't live there. We live across the
I looked at
Christian
your tree.
church.
It was,
Hackleberry persimmon?
Yeah.
That's right across from church.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
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 On this side of
It's
the
that
house.
maple right there on the city property.
No
across from-
trespassing sign they nailed on it. 9 nails.
That was my personal opinion. I don't know about the whole board, but we'll talk about it some more.
Like I said, year-round come out and checked it out. I hadn't had,
Well,
I had
they're-
another company come
They're
out,
in the
but they didn't
business of
check it out.
cutting trees. Might need topped. Top it.
Might
I'm just waiting for a big storm to come through in Atlanta.
Well, nobody wants it on your house, that's for
That's
sure.
where it's going.
They can ruin a house in a hurry.
Got insurance?
Yeah.
Well,
Right, then.
I was gonna say,
If
It'd
you've got her
be-
made, you've got insurance.
But it'll be city because it's city tree. City has to pay for the house. And on the paperwork and that,
The paperwork for what?
like the start of the meeting, why don't you guys do it, come in a little ahead of time and do it, or just have one person to read it all, you know? Cause when you guys go through it, none of us back here know what bills are being paid or anything, you know? We're still in the dark with everything.
well, you don't really, I don't mean to sound, don't get upset. But you don't need to know the bills that they're paying. You just need to know that she's paying the bills. Because if they don't pay the bills, then Rural King's gonna shut us off. Or
Yeah.
John Deere, or whoever we don't pay, they're gonna say, you, no more. So, we just go through and make sure that they're not extravagant, and there's not a duplicate of this bill and that bill, and just kind of an oversight on the bills, you know. But, you understand what I'm telling you? And that sounds really kind of bad. You really don't need to know the bill. I mean, we're not gonna steal out of the bills, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. We just gotta be sure that there's an oversight on the bills that we pay.
Make sure they ain't double billed,
Right.
mistake,
Right.
stuff like that.
If something happens, back to your tree, if something happens, we got a lawyer sitting up here, something happens and it's the city's fault and it's on the city, I'll guarantee you, the city's liable. I'm just telling you, the city's liable.
If it's an act of God, though, I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to say here, but I'm just telling you, if something happens, that's just like a swimming pool in your stupid yard, or somebody walks across your yard and you got a hole in your yard. You fell in that hole. You know who's going to pay the bill?
God. It's an act of God.
No, you're going to pay the bill. You own the property. God ain't going to pay nothing.
He might call me up though if I fall in that
You can
hole.
call him up and ask him.
No, he might call me up.
But I'm just telling you.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, well, like if you're driving the tractor down the street and you lose control of it, you run into somebody's house and knock the windows out and stuff like that. You know who's liable?
Yeah. Yep. City.
I'm just, it's an ugly story, but it's
Oh,
true.
sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
Now, if you got kids, you know, nobody wants to get anybody hurt. We don't want the tree to fall and hurt somebody, or God forbid, kill somebody. That would be a really bad deal. And, but like John said, we could get somebody to take a look at it and say if it's unsafe,
Yeah.
it's to our benefit to get the thing fixed, and it's to your benefit to see that we get it fixed.
Yeah.
So,
Get a second opinion on it.
right. Who am I? I'm not an arborist. I mean,
Right, yeah.
No, I'm not.
tree doctor.
Tree do.
Tree hugger maybe, but I'm a tree hugger.
That's what's gonna be down. Does that need to be, how do you want us to handle that? You guys want us to do that? We need to put that back on there and
I would say
Keep it back on
put it on
the
back on the
agenda.
agenda so you guys can have it down to approve.
there's
to
a
get
tree
second
on the
opinion.
corner of Persimmon, and
Then it will come back as old business so you guys can
then
get that down.
we'll get somebody to take a look at it. And, well, it's common law. If something bad that's endangering somebody, we need to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Get looked at, fixed, yeah.
It might have got hit by lightning on one
It's
side.
hard telling.
Might have.
Yeah.
Carpenter ants, you know, it can be a lot of things.
Okay, any other public comments?
I got one.
Yeah.
Just to state your name since I didn't have you do it
Oh,
first.
David King.
Okay,
How's all your inventory here in the building working out? Or do you just know what you've got? Out in the, like inventory, like tools,
Actually, me and him was discussing that the other day about doing inventory. 'Cause
inventory on stuff.
we noticed things that we have paperwork for, but it's not in the shop, so. Since
Well, the only reason I'm asking is, I know there's stuff been here, and it ain't here no more. It's walking off or disappearing, stuff like that there in the past. I know there's towns bought a lot of stuff and it ain't here no more. It's just, for some reason, it disappears.
do you
We
have
seen
an
that
idea
yesterday.
of what that stuff is?
We seen that yesterday. We seen a manual for a steel leaf blower. It's not here.
I know, that's what I mean,
We
air
seen a
compressor,
manual for,
tools, I mean,
Echo weed eater. It's nowhere.
chainsaws, everything just kinda walks off around here. That's what I'm saying, either
Yeah.
take a picture of it,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
inventory it,
Good idea.
make sure you still got it.
No, there's no.
I remember, there should be walkie-talkies around here. They're out, I bet that you can't even find them.
So there's an inventory list on the site.
There's been a lot of stuff bought for the town that ain't here no more. It kinda walks away. I know there's been 3 or 4 sets of tools and there's none.
No, there's hardly no
There's a-
tools.
Over the years, yeah. But, so there's an inventory list when we get it out.
There's a list, she'll have to get a hold of Peggy and find out where that list is, cause her and Donald did the inventory.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to it.
If nothing else, take pictures of it with a phone. And I'll put them in a category by itself.
Serial numbers and.
Cause I know there's been stuff disappear.
Have you, Mr.
Cause
King,
we
have
bought
you-
it on the town board and it ain't here no more.
Yeah, weird.
So you bought things on the town board.
That, and I got one other thing. Is City Hall leaking?
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Is there any way you get up there and pour some tar out? Or has it got a rubber
I
roof?
just dry as rubber.
Yeah, hold on.
Is it a rubber roof?
I did talk to, the last time that was done has been over a year ago. It
Year
was
ago.
fixed in 2017. We had a company come in and fix it, and then Brad and Donald have retarred it twice. Or tar, I don't remember what.
That's
but
probably the problem.
They
There's
checked
too
with
many
Linson,
layers.
they
Scissor.
checked with Linson Gutter, whatever that place is,
Seamless
and
gutter.
Seamless Gutter to find out what we needed to put on a flat roof. And they put that in, it only lasts about a year, so it's about time for it to do it again. But the next suggestion is that, the board looks into a grant next to get a pitch put on the roof. But it's gonna need to be sealed before then by whatever that stuff, the tar or
Well,
whatever.
I just wondered if you let it leak too long, the timber's gonna get rotten.
Yeah, we liable to have electrical fire too.
Last time we had rain,
That's about all I got to say.
we went back there and there was a
Pardon?
horrendous mess.
Yeah,
And if we don't get that fixed, there's gonna be mold and everything, God knows
Yeah.
what.
yeah,
To fix.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain some more.
yeah.
About the rain season too. It's springtime.
But you can only put on so many.
Yeah,
And then it's gonna have to be taken off
yeah.
and spend some major money. And like Christine said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
looking for grant money, and somebody needs to do some, I don't know who does that, do some legwork to try to find something.
Quickly.
Well, it's usually a board member and the mayor that looks into the grants.
You know.
Okay, is that all?
You may have a leak up here and it may not come out till back
Till
here.
back here.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Yeah, flat roofs are nothing but
it was
trouble.
leaking,
Yes, it was.
pouring.
It's, dangerous, you know. Electrical, you know, leaking down on electrical.
So I just thought I'd bring it up.
Well, that's good. In fact, John and Christina and I moved a lot of electrical copier and I don't know what, computer out of the way so it wouldn't rain on it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
that's not good.
It's a horrendous mess back there.
Plugins back there, it's
Yeah,
come
It's
down
awful.
on, they put stuff over it.
That needs
a
to be,
couple of them quit working too, didn't they, Christine?
that needs to
They
be
do it all pretty good,
next
they
thing
do,
on the
they plan all
ticket.
that.
Mine
Didn't
went
one of
covered
them quit
tonight
working,
'cause
didn't
we're
one of
already
them
to
electrical
flood line,
plugins
it's like 2 inches.
Well,
I
the
know.
printer
Well,
still
it'll
works
rain
off that
good.
electrical outlet, but the shredder doesn't, we have to move that out there.
That's really strange, isn't it?
And the furnace and the heater works, space heater works on that outlet too.
That's weird, isn't it? That don't make no sense.
Christine, one more thing.
Yeah, could you stand and state your name for the record, please?
Milburn Hornbeck. I know the fire department, we have been talking about it.
Uh-huh,
I'm not wanting to give Bill any more work,
uh-huh.
but we're needing to make sure all the fire hydrants, that they can open and close properly. So if we do, like February last year, we had the fire right here, basically across the street. We need to make sure that all the fire plugs, when we would have a fire here in town, we hook up to it, are we gonna have water?
Is that something that, the water employee has done in coordination with someone from the fire department?
I don't know if they done that with Donnie or not in the past.
Does anyone know on the board?
Well, you'd have to do something with the fire department with that probably.
Yeah, the fire department that Steve has said is we're trying to figure sometime, or that, get enough time, enough people to do so, is go around ourselves and,
Flush them out and stuff and make sure they're
yeah,
working right.
flush
Yeah,
them, crack
pressure
them
on
open, that type of stuff, but I still would like to,
Log it,
the fact that,
log it.
give the city a heads up, we're gonna be flushing meters, so,
So then someone can get in contact with Bill and let him know?
well,
Not
It-
during the flood season.
it could,
What
I-
would
We probably won't do it immediately because of the rain.
right, okay.
I know from living up in Bridgeport, normally it does not happen, but it could happen. If we're flushing meters, we could put accidentally, not meaning to do it on purpose, but put the city in a boil order situation.
We don't drink cold water anyway.
Do you oil them anywhere, them hydrants, do you oil them?
I don't think they will.
I don't think so.
So is Steve Rigg the fire chief, is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then he'll need to get in contact with the
where you
town.
They got a grease fitting on?
I don't know if they do or not.
Oh,
I
we
don't believe
can
so.
do it.
You know where you turn it on? Is
Yeah,
it,
they're all talking. I
you
mean,
oil them? Is there? I don't know. I've never fooled with one of these.
Open them up, everything's under the ground.
They used to do that
It's
back
got
in
a-
the day, didn't they? Like,
It's a brass valve down underground.
Oh,
We can get with Steve and see what he says, and then by early spring, we can check him out and go around the village.
That's a good idea.
You're basically in town all the time. I'm in town all the time.
Yeah,
yeah, they need to be worked
I'll,
once in a while.
I'll
Yeah.
talk to Steve about it.
well, they used to do that, it seems like.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did. That's a good
they,
idea.
they did is
Yeah,
almost yearly, but
yeah.
Good idea.
And
Yeah.
by flushing them out, it'll help our water system in town too, move the water.
They do it in Mount
During
Carmel
the
all
fires,
the time.
enough time to find out it's not
Yeah.
working.
or find out it's plugged.
Right.
One's buried under weeds.
Okay, is there anything else before we move on to old business? Okay, old business, we had carried over park improvements. I don't know if anything else has been done in regards to that, but
We got a new light up there. I was wanting to talk with the board.
I do have that down under new business about the light specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, was there anything with park?
No, not of us now.
Okay,
It looks really nice up there, cause I sit on my back porch. I mean, it illuminates where it needs to.
Do you like that light up
I
there?
do, cause you know, that's, from just sitting back there, that's where they would stop and park.
Right, yeah.
You know, and,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it pretty bright?
It is,
Oh, is it?
very bright, yeah.
We didn't think it was very bright, did we?
No, it,
Not for the area we was wanting, but
Yeah.
every light helps up there since it's
Yeah.
a big park.
yeah, it looks really
So-
good where it's at.
It is. We're good.
There's needing another light behind the shelter
Yeah.
house also, because it's
Yeah.
so dark back
I
there.
thought they were
Yeah.
gonna fix that. There's one back there.
yeah,
Let's
we're
buy a
gonna,
basketball for you.
Yeah,
Wonder
and they
why-
have it unplugged.
Anybody say what's wrong with that one?
yeah, we're gonna get,
We're getting ready to get to
we're
it.
getting ready to get to that. I'm trying to stay in order since I'm not done this a lot.
We're throwing our own cord.
That's the only thing I have on the park though.
Okay. The next old business was town attorney, and you guys had voted to hire Trevor as our new town attorney, and we did so. So I'm gonna, if he has anything to say, I'm gonna open it up to him right now.
Well, I'm just happy to be here and help out. Looking forward to working with everyone and getting to know everybody and giving back to the community.
You might change your mind about that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Scare him off on his first meeting.
The shelter house, we all know that that's going on right now. I have a spreadsheet right here of what we've paid so far and what we have left to pay. We've paid all of our materials, and we've paid 3 weeks of labor, and we have 3 more weeks of labor to come out. And we've ordered that money up from our grant. If anyone wants to see that, I kinda did that so you guys would have an idea
I
of what was
got
going
one. Is
on.
that gonna be metal or shingle?
It's shingle.
Single.
Gonna go back shingle?
It's gonna go back shingle. Stacy had some information about the light, the fans in the bathroom. Did you wanna tell the board, explain to the board what's been going on with that?
One of the fans in the bathroom doesn't work. They're gonna hang them back up because in the grant it don't cover new lights or anything. So you might wanna consider a new fan for the bathroom one of these days.
Girls' room, right?
Could
Could we
rip
not,
it.
could we just not have them put the outlet there and not put that fan in?
Don't put the fan in and just put the light switch, the light there.
You know, the wiring there and tie off the wiring where the fan would go, and then sealing it up, and then at the time, later we can vote on putting
You can do that, but most of them sit up in the thing.
the recess,
as-
and we'd have to cut and recess.
Mhm. So,
The bad thing is, we only have they're planning on being done by the end of the month, so the fire department can get in there and use it.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we waited to get something bought and seeing if they would put that in.
is a
Well, then-
is a fan necessary in there? Are they necessary in the bathroom?
Depends on who goes in before you.
Well, that's true.
I'm just saying.
But the way the doors are, you got plenty of airflow going, I mean.
Would Wes consider putting new ones in if we would have them here and ready for them?
They'll put the new ones in,
So if we.
as long as we have them, they'll put them in.
Do you- As the board, do you guys wanna take a vote on making that purchase?
I think we should motion it and take a look at it. If it draws
You
a
know what,
line,
here's what just my own gut, I think it's a waste of time. It's out there, it's bare, they're willing to put it in, buy it, you're talking about $100 or less.
Two fans, yeah.
Get to them.
Yeah.
The one in the men's room squeaked and Brad oiled it, but it's gonna go out eventually.
And that's what they said. The other
Obviously.
one's not in the best shape either, but
Put 'em both-
they did say that you could buy a cheaper one for like $50.
That's what I was thinking, you can pick them up at Menards and set them right in there.
Well,
I think it'd be good, just put new fans up there. Just-
okay. Thursday, I take them a check and we could talk to their foreman down there, or, they've been talking to Stacy about that, cause she has a lot of construction knowledge. So, whatever route you guys wanna go with that, she can talk to Dennis if she has time, or I can on Thursday when I pay them. And then we can see if we can get, maybe we can look at Menards online too and see what they have.
I think that'd be
And the
wise.
board can, say, hey, we need to set a limit and go.
They
from
have the
there.
electrical wire up now, so
It needs to be sooner rather than
But I mean, if
later.
they're willing to install it, that's it. You
they
don't
will
want any
install it.
additional cost.
And rather than putting all the old ones back together.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, would you, we could even email West tonight, as soon as tonight, and give him a heads up. It's up to
Say,
you guys.
what's our deadline for getting those fans to you? Sure.
You guys tell me what you want to do.
It would be Dennis that you would have to talk to, I think.
I suggest we put new fans in.
I second.
Well, they got the wires hanging there and they're willing to put them in.
All
I
in
mean,
favor?
golly, look how much money we spent.
Do it right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna renege on $150. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Leon
Yeah.
motioned that, Linda second, and then Linda requested an all in favor.
All, yeah.
Buy new fans.
Aye.
All in favor?
New fans for the
Paul?
shelter
You just bought
house.
new fans for the shelter house.
Oh, okay.
Is
Do I need them?
that a yay or nay?
Do I need it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yea or nay?
Not
Do you want it or not?
Leave the door open.
Yea or nay?
Okay,
Yea or
good.
nay? We do
That's
vote.
good.
Leave the door open.
I think we got.
Everybody,
3, 4,
enjoy it.
4,
Yea or
5.
nay?
We've got,
Yeah, I'll put in.
Aye.
Okay,
New
5.
fans,
all right.
ain't hard to put in.
They're gonna do it.
Ain't hard to put up.
Okay,
I thought two at the house, I ain't used them since I got them. I put them up, but I ain't used them.
okay, we'll, move on to the old business.
Back then.
Okay.
Can you check with Dennis about that? Or I can email them.
I can check with him tomorrow.
Okay.
John,
Okay.
hey John,
The new business, you guys have the completed audits from Butch and Associates in
Yes.
front of you. You guys can read that. We'll put that back on the agenda for next month, to get it approved. We have received paperwork from the Moto Fuel tax, wanting to know what roads, we want to look at, and so far I know the general consensus is Hill Street is still terrible, and that road out to the cemetery, the part that we own. So the board will need to decide what areas you want resealed or scarified, primed and sealed. I don't know what that word means, because I don't know anything about roads.
Hill Street's the one that goes up to the park.
So,
Yeah.
And then on this side of,
Roads are all right out there, what we
Church
got.
Street needs
The
to
one
be
out
open
big
too.
deal.
There's a
Go
lot
there
of
on.
potholes there
out
by,
to, well, the one out to the cemetery,
Yeah.
Upland's place.
With what
Right there,
we
it's just a lot
supposed
of,
to, they maintain, it's pretty good shape.
yeah, that's
Out
right too, that might be.
Out there,
But-
past it,
yeah, see, I don't know what, how much,
the second telephone pole.
second telephone pole.
Right back to both second house. breaks out.
Does everyone wanna consider that, and you guys can take that back up in March? And have an idea, or is there a time limit, cause I've never done,
I'm not sure what,
No, we go around, we look and then we.
Yeah,
what road you talking about, bud?
The graveyard road,
Out past,
yeah, past we go,
Past both
we
sides.
own about two telephone poles, not own, maintained.
Up to 4 posts.
About the second pole out.
really?
It's pretty good shape up. After that, you got a dog.
it's pretty bad.
Going out there,
Yeah,
it's
that
bad
we don't
shape.
That's not a county road,
Yeah,
Part,
it's
part of
county
it is,
road.
part of it ain't.
but we have to
Because that's where
maintain.
We had to
Just a
maintain
certain
it.
part of it.
That's where that ditch.
We'll stop that because it's supposed to be in this village limit. Inheritedly on, that was grandpa did.
Yeah, I understand.
Who's that road commissioner? You know? Who that road commissioner is?
I've heard before, but I can't remember.
Yeah, we got a road
That's
to
what
make.
Who
we've
is
done with the shelter house so far.
Barbara, Joe,
Check
Roy?
oh, Roy,
Oh, is that Roy?
yeah. Used to be Dale Herring.
Okay.
Who is
So
it?
what if you
Roy
ask-
Roy, Barbara,
Roy Berger?
he take care of certain streets,
I didn't know he went that far.
yeah.
So we've already paid our portion, that 10-3.
Loudermilk used to take care of
So the
that
rest
one.
is a grant that we apply for
He
weekly that
moved
goes
out
down on the
there.
rest.
Out, away.
That's where we're at on
so
that.
who's over the streets and sidewalks and alleys? Is that person?
That,
Oh, that's you.
that road out there going,
That's you.
Cause
He's-
he actually
ain't too
city
bad a
limits
shape.
when she crossed
So
that
that's why
ditch.
she drives around to us.
Well, in regards
I
to
drive
this,
around.
in regards to this Department of Transportation thing, right now Linda's over the streets and sidewalks, and alleys.
Linda?
I'm sorry, Stacy, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So we can go that route and Stacy can look at that and just, and, I don't know who you talk to, I mean, who you go with, do you go with the mayor? And I know
And
that,
the city worker. Cause he's
And the
gotta
city
know what
worker.
roads are gonna
Okay.
get fixed.
well then after, hopefully this evening when a new mayor is appointed, then you can go with that person and Bill, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Does that sound feasible to everyone?
Yeah, that's how we did it last
You guys decide what streets you oil and chip.
Chip and seal.
Yeah, we send that in to the Department of Transportation and they tell us, yes, you can, or no, you
No,
can't.
you can't. That was just done
We-
this year.
yeah.
That was done that year. That's the way that's done.
You learn something new every day.
I fiddle and you dance. That's the name of the game.
Okay, well, we'll go that route then. Does everyone, does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah, amen.
Okay, the light at the park was brought up and, I'm kinda confused on all of it, cause I know there's a new light put up and it was an LED light versus a multi-directional, and some people say it's not very bright, some people say it is very bright. Some people say, that Ameren has said that they would change it out, from my understanding, when I've spoken to Ameren, they said anyone can call and say, hey, this light isn't bright, can you come look at it? And then when there's another one, that there's a switch in the shelter house.
Nope.
No. Okay,
Nope.
that's why I said I'm totally confused about the two different ones, so that's why it's on the agenda. So
They
you guys
thought,
can discuss that.
Dennis and them thought that the light switch in the back hall by the bathrooms, they thought one of those light switches belonged to the light pole by the basketball court. Do you know which one I'm talking about? And it doesn't.
No.
So, it's not worked for years, evidently. So,
Okay, and John, you wanna talk about the light, I don't, I don't know if I got everything covered there, what your thoughts were.
Well, what we was wanting at first was a light behind the shelter house, that way it would cover the dark area behind there. And they put it out by the road, and it don't reach, the light don't reach behind the shelter house. But, from what I heard from the public, they like that light there, and it covers more light at the park regardless, because we need more light anyway, anywhere up at the park, since the park's all dark. So, in my opinion, since the public likes it, and there is more light up there, I think that one needs to be left. And we can, I've talked to Ameren, and they said that they can change it out if we want to. But, or not, but also, there is a pole on the, what side would that be? That'd be the south side, I believe, of the park, by the merry-go-round. They don't have a light on it, but there is power that runs to it. Runs to
Shelter
it.
house.
Yeah, and they said they could put a light up there also if we want a light behind the shelter house.
But then that electricity is connected to the shelter house?
Yes.
So then that bill would go from the shelter house then, and not the street light bill, because we have that one separate.
And
No,
did they
that's
give
where
you
I was-
any idea of what kind of increase we'd be looking at?
They said, well, it depends what kind of light we put up
Would it
there.
be dusk to dawn?
It can be. They said they got multiple lights, whatever we choose.
Okay,
That's why I want to talk with the board first.
is there not a light back here? Like what's in the water thing down there?
I'm not sure.
There should be a brand new light in there as to what we have in.
Dustin
Sorry,
on,
that's my mom, she's probably.
a Dustin on light, you mean?
It's a light in the shop.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
might be.
There should be one in there. I don't know why we couldn't put that on that pole ourselves.
If it's not
Or
tore
have
up,
them put it on, yeah.
if it's not tore up, Donald might have took it down somewhere where it's
No, it's
tore
brand
up.
new.
Oh, is it brand new?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
It's the same thing that's what's in the water house up there.
Oh,
But ain't walked off.
yeah.
But yeah, that's, we can take a look at
I
that.
might look at it and see if it can't go on that pole.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. But they said they can put a light up on that other pole, and I wanted to talk with the board first and see what they had to
But you'd
say.
have to turn that on inside the shelter, right?
No, because you'd be able to hook it up, I would think, because
The dusk to dawn light on that pole?
you just have to look at the
Yeah.
light, John.
I'll look at it and then, yeah. And then,
But we definitely don't want something else coming out of the shelter
right, yeah.
house,
yeah.
because
And I can ask Ameren also if it does come out of the shelter house, or if it go to, you know, the street light over there. But it might come out of the shelter house.
Ask about the one by the basketball court too.
By the basketball court, I can do that.
See if it's on
Yeah.
street
they told me
lights.
yesterday it should be coming out of the street lights.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, maybe that other one.
Street light, no?
I'll ask them, I'll get more information for the board and for everybody on all the lights. And I'll look at that other one also, that's back here. So,
Okay, the next thing was about the FOIA request. Is Mr. Evelyn here today?
No,
Okay. I was gonna talk to him about the FOIA request, because I don't have a number for him. The next thing is, I put this back on there so you guys were aware of it, because I filled in for the clerk temporarily until you can find someone, and I'm letting you guys know that March will be my last meeting as the clerk, so you need to find someone by then, just for the clerk.
don't blame me doing two jobs.
So you will be doing March meeting though.
I will be here at the March meeting to hopefully help the new person out, and maybe help the new mayor as little as I know
Okay.
with what the ordinance is. Yes. Okay. Next is, the last thing on the agenda is we need to discuss a mayor pro tem. I talked to Janet, the term runs out with the next election. The next election will be in April, and the new mayor would be sworn in at the May meeting.
April,
April 21, yes. It is a 4-year position. So we need to take nominations on mayor and go from there. last thing. Let's get this wrapped up here.
I said let's table this one.
Do we have to consider one of the board members first before we can do the
Yes.
person from the outside? It's not the board.
Yes, it says preference is for the board.
So,
Let me read this to you. In the vacancy, if the vacancy is the office of mayor, the vacancy must be filled by corporate authorities electing one of their members as acting mayor, except forth in section 1-2. The acting mayor shall perform all duties and possess all rights, powers of the mayor until a mayor is elected in the next general election. However, if in villages with population of less than 5,000, if each of the trustee either declines the election as acting mayor or is not elected by the majority of the votes, which would be 4 in your circumstance, the trustee presently holding, they don't elect one of the board members, then the trustee may elect as acting mayor or any village resident who is qualified to hold the municipal office, and the mayor and that acting mayor shall exercise the powers of the mayor and shall vote and have veto power in the same manner provided by the law. So, from what we clarified with Janet, and Trevor and I made sure I wasn't confused yesterday when we spoke, that if someone on the board wants to be in that position, they can nominate themselves. If that person doesn't win by the majority of 4 votes, then the board can nominate someone in the community. Only the board at this point can nominate someone in the community. That person still has to win with the majority of 4 votes, since there's 6 people sitting. So do we have a nomination, any nominations?
take a roll call, say we decline, maybe go around.
I don't know.
Nobody's
Usually we've just
speaking
taken a, we can do that. Would that cover our bases better? Ask individually?
I think either way is fine. Maybe better just to.
Let someone nominate?
Have you got anybody interested in it?
Okay,
Have you
we'll
got
see.
anybody that's verbally said, you know, I believe I'd like to do that?
On the board, I'm not aware of. No one spoke to me. Is there anyone on the board that would be interested in that, that could that wants to take a nomination?
I'll
And,
nominate myself.
Well, you?
Yeah.
You what?
Nobody else on the board wants it.
I've been through this before.
You want it?
Yes.
I don't think he's.
I can't hear or read, so no, I can't do it. So, you make a dandy one. Young, full of poop and vinegar.
I can be.
You'll also need to decide whether you're going to resign from your position on the board. If you do resign, then you'll have the full veto power from the mayor.
Right.
If you don't resign, your vote will remain the same as if you were just still on the board. But you'd have all the other duties of mayor, such as running things and all that.
So if I am nominated, do I have to give up the seat, or do I have to appoint somebody else?
No.
So,
If you take the mayor pro tem, that seat stays open until the general election. If once you file to run in the general election, you give up that seat.
Okay.
All you're gonna do is
That's my
conduct the
understanding.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
I think you can handle that.
Let's see.
We'll see. Nobody else wants it.
Who am I missing?
Oh, Leon, well, he get his feet wet, sit up there in that chair.
No, Bud, we were friends.
Okay, so we have a nomination for John, and we'll go around the room, and you tell me yes or no. Is that how this works?
And it won't hurt my feelings to say no.
Talking about that.
I don't know how the actual vote works.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, for John, yeah, go ahead and put him in there. Get his feet wet.
Okay, we're gonna go around and have a nomination for John King to be mayor pro tem. Bud?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Linda?
I had an outside source tell me if they'd like to be mayor,
Okay,
so I'm really unsure.
okay. Leon?
I did too, I had the very same thing, I had the, nothing against you, my friend,
Oh,
but I
that's
just,
fine, that's fine.
Okay,
I don't know how this works.
how do we, if we've had an outside source, express interest as well, and they wanna look at those options.
Well, you don't have to give any reasoning for your vote. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, I
You
just
still
don't know
have
if
to
I.
vote yea or nay.
I understand, yeah, you just, at the time it's yea or nay.
Yeah.
And then you can bring, you guys can bring up that person
Now,
after
After
your
we
vote,
vote?
after the vote for
It
John.
would be afterward.
It would have to be after that.
the only way we can do that is for, like, me or her vote against John.
Yes, and then you can bring your outside person, because it says if the person on the board doesn't pass with the majority of the vote, then the board can nominate someone outside.
And there's nothing that, precludes you from, John's also a member of the community. So, after this vote, if it doesn't go through this vote, I mean, John can still be nominated.
Yeah.
So,
You see what does that make sense, Leon?
does that make, yeah.
So if you
I think it's
vote,
clear.
if you vote no, because you wanna look at your outside source, and that one doesn't pass, you could still nominate
Inside.
John again.
Then we
Okay.
can still nominate
Okay.
John, cause he wants it. 'Cause
Okay,
yeah.
where we at?
Me.
Yea or
me
nays?
and- I'm gonna say nay.
Nay, yeah, me also.
That's fine.
Okay, then do we need to go further?
Yeah.
Get the okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, I didn't have your bottom row. Stacy?
Nay. I also had the same.
Nay.
Okay, so who did you guys have, someone speak interest to you about, of an outside source? Now's your time to speak.
Gary Lance has approached the courthouse wanting to.
Okay. Do we have a nomination for that then? Well, I guess we need to see if that's, since we've heard that information, is that something that is true, that you would be interested in this
Yes.
mayor's position? And you would accept that nomination?
Yes.
So then the board needs to nominate him, so that is true information.
No, that wasn't a nomination that Linda made.
No, that's why I said, it's
Okay.
true,
Okay,
so then the board now would need to nominate him.
I'll nominate him.
Okay. Would you accept that, Gary?
Yes.
Now we vote again.
Yes, I'm trying to write this down.
I'm glad you are,
I'm so
cause I was.
confused.
What part are you confused on, so we can clarify? Well, I didn't want the board to nominate someone that didn't say, yes, I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's why I was asking if that was legitimate and not just a rumor.
Right.
And then since it wasn't a rumor, then the board could make their nomination, and that's what Leon did. Does that catch you up, everyone?
yeah.
Okay, so Leon had he nominated Gary Lance. And we will go back around and take a vote.
Is there any other nominations from?
Are there any other nominations from
Has
the board?
anyone else shown
Yes,
interest in the village?
Because there are multiple
Right,
people that
yes.
said, that's
No one has,
Do you have anyone else?
No, that's what I was
has
wondering.
anyone else approached the board
Okay.
about this?
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Is that the next step here?
Yes.
Since this is all,
I mean, we did have
Re-
it on the agenda, so if there was someone else interested, they surely would have approached us.
okay, well, let's go back around here then. Paul,
Or,
the vote is whether or not Gary Lance should be mayor pro tem. Yes or no?
No, I don't think so, no experience.
John,
No, and here's my reasoning, because I don't really know him too well, but other than that.
Linda,
Yes.
Leon,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
then the majority has passed. Is that what we need, what's next? Is that sufficient? Do we need to, what else do we need to write down here?
That's sufficient to do that. And then I would,
And then we just
for
swear
the
them
next,
in.
for the next agenda, and make sure we're ready to handle the clerk position, because that'll be his job to
Okay,
appoint the clerk.
Okay, and so then I swear him in tonight as Mayor Pro Tem.
I believe so, yes.
Well, I knew I would swear in someone, so let's see here. I've gotta find the oath since I've only done this one other time. Okay, Gary, if you'd like to come up, I will swear you in. I, Gary Lance,
I'm not going to the house.
do solemnly swear
Guts.
that I will support
That's
the Constitution of the United States
I can't wait.
Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
No, I gotta go. I've got the
Illinois.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Mayor Pro Tem
of Mayor Pro Tem
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
All right, well, I've got some paperwork for you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, welcome aboard. And if anyone doesn't have anything else, that concludes our meeting.
A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. I got John, motion to adjourn. And who seconded that?
Linda.
All right.